Sri Gurubhyo Namaha children, let us continue. We were talking about how the general wanted to suggested to Dr. Sado that he will kill this American prisoner of war using his own assassins and then remove him as well. So at that time Sado, and he had even told Sado to keep the room door open so that the assassins may enter. So that night Sado visited this American prisoner of war and he was just getting ready to go out, and then he complained that on one side where he had undergone surgery, the muscles were very stiff. He lifted the edge of man's shirt and gazed at the healing. Healing is nothing but the wound that was healing there, becoming all right. Healing scar. Massage may do it. Massage is nothing but rubbing it, giving some force. You would have seen that when you go to a physiotherapist, they do some massage, they just rub an area which is being affected and then they with force, and then it becomes all right. Massage may do it, he said, if exercise does not. It won't bother me much. Bother, worry me. So it's not a big problem for me. That is what the American says. The young man said. His young face was gaunt under the stubbly blonde beard. Gaunt, very thin. Stubbly beard. Stubbly means short, stiff hair on the face. Beard, you know, it is there on the face. So it is the short, stiff hair. When it is not trimmed properly, it is very short, stiff, and that is what is being mentioned here. Stubbly blonde beard. Say, doctor, I've got something I want to say to you. If I hadn't met a Jap like you, well, I wouldn't be alive today. I know that. So he is speaking to this American Tom. His name is Tom. He is speaking to the doctor. I have something to tell you. If I had not met a person like you, definitely I wouldn't be alive today. That is what he says here. Sado bowed, but he could not speak. Sado just bowed his head, accepted what he said, but he did not speak because he didn't want to speak. He didn't want to just involve himself, because only on that day he had spoken with the general and the general has accepted to send assassins to murder him. So all those thoughts were also pressurizing inside Dr. Sado. So no words came out of his mouth. Sure, I know that, Tom went on warmly. His big thin hands gripping a chair were white at the knuckles. I guess if all the Japs were like you, there wouldn't have been a war. Perhaps, Sado said with difficulty. And now I think you had better go back to bed. So he says, yes, this boy says, this young man says, suppose all were like you, good-natured, good-hearted, there wouldn't be any war at all. Now, what is the reason for war? Now, the greed for land, the greed for power, that is the reason why people wage war. All throughout the history you would have learnt about. Even if you take India, so many wars were waged just to annex territories by all the kings, almost all the kings. There were wars which has devastated certain kingdoms totally. So here it is a world war where America and Japan were involved. They are deadly enemies. So he says, suppose all were like you, then such war would never occur. For that, Sado also accepted. Then he told him better go back to bed. He held the boy back into bed and then bowed. Good night, he said. Sado slept badly that night. Time and time again he woke, thinking he heard the rustling of footsteps, the sound of a twig broken or a stone displaced in the garden, a noise such as men might make who carried a burden. So, Sado, already there was a talk between Sado and the general had accepted to send a person to murder this American. So he was, Dr. Sado was going on thinking. He was very much disturbed as he was sleeping at night. Every small sound, whatever small sound was there, he was thinking that it is something, the entry of the people, somebody has come there, and now they would have, he is thinking that they would have murdered this American, and then they are carrying him out. So every minute sound he asks, he just thinks all such events are happening. The next morning he made the excuse to go first into the guest room. If the American were gone, then he could simply tell Hannah that the general the general had directed. But when he opened the door, he saw at once that there on the pillow was a shaggy blonde head. Shaggy, untidy. He could hear the peaceful breathing of sleep, and he closed the door again quietly. So he thought he wanted to visit that room first. So he just told Hannah, I'll go to the room first today to check how his health is. Then you can follow with whatever drink you want to give him in the morning. So when he went there thinking that he will not be there, he saw that the American was sleeping very peacefully. So he just closed the door once again silently. He is asleep, he told Hannah. He is almost well to sleep like that. What shall we do with him? Hannah whispered at her refrain. Refrain, repeated complaint. This is what she is telling Dr. Sado every day. What are we going to do with this person? Because of this man, all our servants have gone. I'm suffering. I have to do a lot of work. She has been telling Dr. Sado. Sado shook his head. I must decide in a day or two, he promised. But certainly, he thought, the second night must be the night. There rose a wind that night, and he listened to the sounds of bending bows and whistling partitions. Hannah woke too. Ought we not go and close the sick man's partition? She asked. So he told her, in a day or two we will decide and we will get rid of him. That night also, the second night also, Sado was not able to sleep because there was wind, and then in the night, and then there was so much of sound outside, and the wind was whistling very strongly. So Hannah was telling, should we not go and close a partition near the sick man's room? No, Sado said, he is able now to do it for himself. So what is the reason Sado said? First, he doesn't want to close the room because only through that door the assassins may enter inside. So he doesn't want to close it. Then he adds that this man is healthy enough to get up and close the door himself. So we need not worry, he tells his wife. But the next morning, the American was still there. To their surprise, the next morning also, the American was still there. Then the third night, of course, must be the night. The wind changed to quiet rain, and the garden was full of sound of dripping caves and running springs. So he thought might be it's second night also. He said, okay, third night. But the third night was raining heavily. Sound of dripping eaves and running springs. Dripping, you know what is dripping? Water flowing down. Eaves are nothing but from the lower edge of the roof. When the roof is slanting, from the lower edge of the roof, you can see that water is just moving down. That is what you mean by dripping eaves. Sado slept a little better, but he woke at the sound of a crash and leaped to his feet. So there was a crash sound, so immediately he leaped to his feet. Though he was sleeping soundly, but still this sound disturbed him. What was that? Hannah cried. The baby woke at her voice and began to wail. I must go and see. Wail, cry. So, when she suddenly spoke, that disturbed the baby. So, it started crying immediately. Sado said, I must go and see. But he held her and would not let her move. But he told her, you don't move, you stay here. Sado, she cried, what's the matter with you? Don't go, he muttered, don't go. So, Hannah was also getting ready to go and see, but Sado held her hand and told her, you don't move out of this place, don't go and see, you need not go there. His terror infected her and she stood breathless, waiting. There was only silence. Together they crept back into bed and the baby between them. So what happened? Sado didn't go out, he didn't allow Hannah to go out. He probably thought that the assassins had come there and they had finished the work. So they once again leapt into the bed and the baby was in between them and they started sleeping. Yet, when he opened the door of the guest room in the morning, there was a young man. He was very gay and had already washed and was now on his feet. He had asked for a razor yesterday and had shaved himself, and today there was a faint color in his cheeks. So what happened the previous day? He had asked for the razor and he got that razor, and with that razor he had shaved himself very clean and he was looking, there was a pink tinge on his cheeks as well. I'm well, he said joyously. Sado drew his kimono round his weary body. Weary, tired. He decided suddenly, go through another night. So he thought, I cannot wait for one more night. I cannot be anxious whether this man will leave or not. It was not that he cared for this young man's life. No, simply it was not worth the strain. Strain, anxiety here. So he doesn't want to spend sleepless night every day thinking about this man, whether he will leave, whether the chief will, that is the general will send the assassins to murder him or not. So he no more wanted to extend this type of anxiety anymore. Let's continue in the next class, children. To receive our online lessons, please press the subscribe button and you will receive the latest updates.